Booked Inc. proudly presents Non-Typical Nation.
A great, big, beautiful, well-furred Saskatchewan black bear.
Yes, just dropped him. But he just came ripping out and I dropped him.
At that, absolutely stunning.
But look at the color on this fish. Just stunning. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I cannot believe this, you guys. Oh, that was a wild, wild experience.
Okay, guys, welcome back to another brand new Non-Typical Nation podcast. This is a new one for me. This is the farthest north I have ever recorded a podcast, and I'm honored to be here. I'm here with Kevin McNeil with Canadian Wildlife Adventures, and we are on Elmer Lake in the Northwest Territories. I'm about 5 or 6 days into my hunting and fishing adventure up here. And we thought, you know what, this is a great opportunity. We got some rain this morning, so a great opportunity to share everything you have going on with our audience. And let me tell you, folks, Kevin has stuff going on all over the place. You're an interesting man. You got a lot going on. You and I have talked a lot about this up here.
Yes, we have time.
We've talked a lot about Northwest Territories over the last few years. You've told me a ton of stories. We've got some Boone and Crockett muskox from you at the taxidermy shop. We did a 60-plus pound lake trout for your wife.
Yeah, 67 pounds.
So I had to see it for myself. The opportunity came and I jumped on it. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much,
You're
Kevin.
welcome.
So Kevin, this is Kevin McNeil, folks, the owner of Canadian Wildlife Adventures, and he also does some guiding and outfitting in Alberta as well. But I don't want to explain what you do. Why don't you share and you give everyone a bit of an introduction to what you do with our audience?
Well, in the Northwest Territories, we're Canadian Wildlife Adventures. We actually rebranded ourselves last year. We were Elmer Lake Lodge for the first 12 years of our ownership. And then during COVID, we bought 4 more lodges. So we now have 5 lodges in the Northwest Territories, and we rebranded to Canadian Wildlife Adventures. So we have Elmer Lake, this is Elmer Lake here, and our lodge sits in Rocknest Bay. We have Lac de Gras Lake, and so we have a lodge at Lac de Gras East, and we have a lodge at Lac de Gras West on the Coppermine River. We have a lodge on Courageous Lake, and we have a lodge on Jolly Lake. So in the Northwest Territories, we run and operate 5 separate lodges. And we do hunting and fishing and ecotourism on all 5 places.
That's right. So when I first met you, it was Elmer Lake Lodge.
Elmer Lake Lodge.
Yeah, so that's where we've been fishing and hunting right off of Elmer Lake. And let me tell you guys, it is huge. I can't get over all the shoreline here.
It's tons of shoreline.
You could probably drive for a boat for a month straight and you wouldn't even touch all the shoreline.
You wouldn't see all the shoreline. Not at all. No.
It's absolutely incredible. So let's go way back. How did you get into the outfitting business?
We started outfitting in Alberta. This year is actually our 25th anniversary in Alberta.
Wow.
So we started Blue Sky Outfitting in Alberta, and it'll be 25 years this year. We started with waterfowl hunting, actually. So the first 22 years of our outfitting business, we did waterfowl, we did moose, we did wolf, and we did wood bison. And then I want to say probably in 2009, 2010 timeframe, we decided to buy another business, look for another business that would augment the outfitting business, because we were basically a fall business. So we were September, October, November, December type hunting is what we were doing. The other 8 months of the year, we weren't doing a whole lot for another business.
Yeah.
So we wanted a fishing lodge business. So we wanted something for the fishing lodge that was non-drive-in. We wanted to be the only people on the lake, the only buildings on the lake, and the only boats on the lake. I didn't want anybody else to wreck the experience of having sea doers on the lake zipping around and partying and the whole works. We just wanted the lake all to ourselves. So it took a while to find a lake that would meet our category as to what we wanted. And then we found this one. And so we bought it. We've owned it now. This is our 14th year of operation for Northwest Territories, and 25 years in Alberta now.
Wow. So you've got quite the operation up here, and you're projecting to expand with the other lodges. Are you still running your Alberta outfits?
Yeah, we still run our Alberta outfitting business. We don't do waterfowl hunts anymore.
Okay.
We sold that off during COVID, actually. So we still do moose, we do white-tailed deer, and we do black bear hunts, and we do wolves, and we do wood bison hunts in Alberta.
Okay, cool. And we also got some great big bison from you over the years as well at the shop. So super, super cool. So you've got a couple more weeks up here in Northwest Territories?
Yeah, we're here for 3 more weeks up here in the Northwest Territories. And so we have some more fishermen, so some ecotourism, Northern Lights people coming, photographer, and we have some more hunting to be done up here.
So that's exactly what I was just going to ask. So as per Northwest Territories, everywhere we look, there are caribou, we've seen wolves, there's grizzly bear, wolverine up here. We've seen probably 80 muskox or more in the last 5-6 days. What do you offer for hunters or for folks just looking to photograph wildlife, fishermen? What do you offer for those guys?
For the hunters, we offer barren ground muskox, and we have the largest muskox in the world according to the biologists. So the muskox are huge up here. Body-wise, they're about 900 pounds. Horn-wise, we're sitting at 99.9% Boone and Crockett on what we've shot so far. They're massive animals, and there's lots of muskox up here. So we offer muskox hunting, we offer black bear hunting. Our black bear hunting that we do at the south end of the NWT, because our zone, our Unit R and Unit U zone, we're halfway through Alberta all the way to the Manitoba border. That's how wide our zone is. So we have probably 180,000 square miles as a unit.
Wow.
So we go from boreal forest all the way to the tundra for our hunting zone. It's massive.
It's absolutely massive. So you do ecotourism as well?
We do ecotourism. Yep. So with the ecotourism trips, what we are offering is wildlife viewing. So we'll just speak to Elmer Lake Lodge, as you've seen, Brody. We've seen caribou every day right from the lodge. We've seen grizzly bears. We've seen wolves. And you'll see Arctic peregrine falcons right from the lodge. So we don't have to go far from the lodge, and we can have great wildlife viewing for the Arctic viewing animals. If you want to venture a little further hiking or boating, then we'll still see tons of wildlife. Like the barren lands aren't barren. There's so much life up here. It's crazy. Then we have all the flora, fauna with all the berries and all the shrubbery and the change of colors. Right now, the colors are changing huge right now. So that's what we offer up here, plus the fishing.
Yeah, plus the fishing. That's a pretty big plus,
That's
too.
a huge plus.
We were fishing yesterday, and I caught my personal best, a 46-pound lake trout. It was absolutely massive. We lost count of fish. We were between 15 and 20 fish yesterday, with the average being right around 34, 35 pounds, right up to that 46-pounder, and they were one after another. To me, that's unheard of, somewhere where you can just catch consistent 30 and 40-pound lake trout. Yeah. Absolutely incredible. And the muskox, too. You mentioned Boone and Crockett muskox. So first day, we had some hunters in.
Yep.
The hunter killed a beautiful Boone and Crockett bull about 2 hours after that plane landed. You spotted some in the morning.
Yep.
We went and found them. Sure enough, they were not too far, made a perfect shot. The next day, you had an archery hunter. So that makes things a little bit tougher. You got to get in close.
You got to get in close.
Yeah, and they are big animals. They're tough animals, and we put a stalk on a herd of muskox. We spotted that herd, and it was probably about an hour or so before we got into within about 70 yards. And you looked at the hunter, and you said, there's nothing big enough. And, I was kind of shocked a little bit, because this is my second time seeing this big herd of muskox, and it looked like there were some big muskox in there. But you set the bar high.
We set the bar high, and we had some nice bulls in there. We had some really good bulls in there, but it's not what they come for, and it's not what I want shot up here.
Right.
We want really, really good bull shots. So it was a long stalk. It was an enjoyable stalk. And It took a while, but we passed on them. We let them go.
And that's what you got to do. If you want to shoot a Boone and Crockett animal, whatever it is, everyone knows you got to pass on those medium or larger ones to get those XLs.
Yeah.
And you were confident enough that we were going to find another herd. And sure enough, it wasn't, I would say 3 or 4 hours later, we found another great big herd of muskox with several shooter bulls in. The hunter got within 70 yards, and he got an archery bull.
Yep.
So that was 2 for 2 in less than 24 hours from the moment our plane arrived here. Yeah, of book bulls, Boone and Crockett bulls. Yep. You got one the week before, that was a booner. How many bull muskox have you guys killed this season so far?
We are sitting at 9 right now, 9 bookheads.
Wow. And
So our average this year is 120 so far.
Okay.
As an average.
Yeah. Pretty darn good, guys. Pretty darn good. So this camp in particular, primarily, it's the muskox hunting and the lake trout fishing.
And the lake trout fishing and Arctic grayling fishing. So we're primarily, for the summer months of July and August, we're fishing and doing some ecotourism trips. And so the main focus is fishing. The lake trout fishing up here is phenomenal. We have 1,700 square miles of water. It's never been commercially fished or aboriginally not fished everywhere, anytime. So it's basically a virgin fishery other than the fish that we fish for. And we're just fishing just like a pin drop on the map. We're just like one little tiny spot on the map like we're fishing. And you saw what the fishing was like yesterday. It's like...
Well, and I was saying that yesterday. It doesn't matter how much you fish these fish, you are never going to put an impact on this lake.
Never.
It is so large and it's been untouched for so long. There are some giants in this lake. So what is the biggest lake trout you guys have caught in Elmer
Our
Lake?
biggest lake trout so far landed is 67 pounds. Our biggest Arctic grayling is 6 pounds 1 ounce so far.
Wow, unreal. Yeah. So what does the typical day look like for your hunters or fishermen or eco-tourists?
Typical day, breakfast is served at 8 o'clock, even with our hunters. It's more of a gentleman's type of hunt. So 8 o'clock in the morning, breakfast is served. We're on the water by 9. We will stay out with the fishermen until basically 5:30. Back at shore for 6. Supper served at 7. With our hunters, we'll hunt until we almost run out of daylight, and then we need to come back with the boat, so we need a safety margin, make sure we're back in time with daylight. So every day is a little bit different depending on the cloud cover and that.
Yeah.
And then we'll have supper at that time, and if we've shot something during the day, then we try and make it sure that we're back before we have any dark weather as far as boating, if we're boating wise, to make sure we're back. Yeah. So I don't like to shoot anything too late in the day at all. We'll just let it go, and we'll come back the next day and try the next day earlier in the morning to make sure that we're...
Well, that's it. You're confident enough that you're going to get onto something the next day because there are so many critters around here. And like you said, your goal is to only take one mature bull out of each herd each season.
Yeah. And we hunt different areas. We don't try and hunt the same areas. We just move around. If we've already been to this one area and we shot a bull here, then we don't even bother looking. We go to another area totally and find another herd. It's like this morning, we're looking across the bay here. We're just glassing from the lodge and we see a dozen beautiful caribou bulls.
Yeah.
And right above them is 25, 30 muskox behind them.
Yeah, incredible. We had some caribou right behind camp.
Right behind the buildings.
Probably 15, 20 yards behind the cabin I'm staying in. So super cool. Yeah, and the meals have been phenomenal. Delicious. Now your hunting and fishing trips, you can kind of tailor them to novice and experienced hunters?
Yes, yeah, we can tailor them for 100%. We supply all the fishing gear. For gear fishermen, if you're a fly fisherman, we like you to bring your own gear because most people have a preference for fly rods and reels and how they have their setup for fly rods. But if you're a gear fisherman, we have all the gear, so you can just use our gear. So we have rods, reels, all the lures, we have everything. We don't use downriggers, we don't use weights, we just fish the top 10, 15 feet of water. We don't need to fish deeper than that.
It's working.
Yeah. Our water, we don't have a thermocline flip because we're so far north, so the water doesn't flip, so our water's cold. Temperature yesterday in the water was 51 degrees. That was the water temperature yesterday when we were fishing. So prime temperature for lake trout fishing right on the surface.
Yeah.
And as you saw, we caught numerous fish in 8-10 feet of water.
That's right. That's right. Super, super cool, guys. Now, you're pretty far north here. So we had to take a float plane into here. Like you said, it's what, 250 miles north of Yellowknife.
Yeah.
So are we the furthest north sort of hunting and fishing camp around here?
We're the furthest northeast lodge that our Tindy float plane company flies to.
Yeah. So what are some challenges that you've had to deal with operating a camp this far north?
Everything comes in by the plane.
Yeah. So pricey.
It's very expensive to operate float planes. So everything comes in by the plane. You pay by the mile. So you pay to fly in, you pay to fly the plane back out. So it's a charter plane in, charter plane out, and then it's going to come back a week later to pick up the people. So you pay in, you pay back out.
That's right. So
everything flies by the float planes.
Every jug of milk, every carton of whatever, coffee, everything, fuel, it all comes in on the plane.
It all comes in on the plane because we're so far north. Correct.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful place to be, expensive to operate.
Oh, without a doubt. And I could just imagine building these cabins in the lodge, must have costed an absolute fortune. So how many hunters and fishermen can you accommodate here?
We can take we're licensed for 25 fishermen. We like to keep it around 14 for fishermen is what we like to keep a smaller, more private group. And then for fishermen, we can take a lot of, for hunters, we can take a lot of hunters. Muskox hunting, we like to keep it at 4 or 5 people per week.
Okay.
That's enough. By the time we stalk the bulls, we shoot the bulls, we pack the bulls as you've seen.
Yeah.
And then we deal with the meat and capes the next day. Afterwards, eat up 3 or 4 days in a row pretty quick. Yeah. And that's enough in the 1 week, for that 1 week. It's
for
enough.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
And then the wolf hunting, we do the wolf hunting as well. We'll take 4 hunters per camp at a time for each one.
Okay, and then so wolf hunting, you're doing winter wolf hunts, or
we're doing
March.
fall wolf hunts, and we're doing winter wolf hunts, which are February, March.
Okay, cool. But those aren't ran out of these camps. Those are out of Yellowknife.
Those are based out of Yellowknife, and we drive up the ice road.
Yeah. Pretty cool. So you mentioned that you got potentially the biggest muskox, or one of the top Boone and Crockett scored muskox.
Yes, we had the world record.
Tell us about that.
We had one of our pilots actually that flies with us. Yeah. He was a resident for the NWT, and he was drawn for muskox. So he phoned me up and he's like, "Hey Kev, I'm drawn for muskox in the unit where Elmer's at," and he's like, "I want to see if I can get permission to land on your airstrip and then hunt from your guys' lodge." And so I told him just to stay in the cabin with us. He could come and stay in the cabin, and from this actual very cabin, they looked out this window here, looked across the bay, and they saw 42 muskox. Wow. I think it was.
Wow.
And so they flew in one day on they own private planes. They have their own planes. So they flew in one day, spent the night, got up in the morning. While they were making breakfast, they saw muskox, made a stalk. His wife wanted actually a nice coat. He didn't mount it.
Okay.
She didn't want a muskox mounted in the house.
Wow.
So he has a Euro skull done and a hide, but she wanted the hide tanned. And so he shot what was the nicest hide in the group, but there was 5 bigger bulls, and he shot the world record.
Wow. Unreal, yeah. Unreal. So they're around. And again, I think it's just these animals haven't been hunted. Yeah. It gives them, all the chance in the world to grow to their full maturity.
For maturity, yeah.
And genes. Like
genes,
the caribou around here are massive. But currently only residents can hunt.
Residents can hunt up here for caribou. So the caribou herd that we have at Elmer Lake is the Beverly caribou herd.
Okay.
The caribou herd at the other 4 lodges is the Bathurst herd. So the Bathurst herd numbers are really low. Okay. The Beverly caribou herd is well over 100,000 animals, so they're doing pretty good as far as numbers wise are concerned. But residents are allowed to hunt up here, but it's pretty costly to get here with float planes.
So you got a $10,000 or $15,000 plane to get up here.
Each way.
There you go.
Each way. Yeah, each way, because
I can't believe it. If every bank or hillside, if you look at it long enough, you're going to find a caribou. We're seeing caribou all over the place.
We're seeing 400-inch caribou everywhere.
Every day.
Yeah, every day we see 400-inch
trophy Boone and Crockett caribou.
Right in camp, we see them across there, out on the water, driving around. We see them there. There's just
fingers crossed.
Yes, fingers crossed.
They open things up for non-residents because there is so much potential for some giant caribou around here. Super cool. The hunting opportunity you have here is second to none. But let's get back to fishing. So we're catching great big lake trout. Not many people know how many big fish are in this lake and how often you catch them. But the other thing is the grayling. You're catching big grayling.
We catch big grayling on a regular basis as well.
Yeah.
So we have a few different rivers. We catch them in the rivers and we catch them in the lakes as well. So it's not only just the rivers as well, but we need quiet water usually on the lakes, a little bit flatter water to see where they're located at, to see them rising, and then we can target them because they're schools and they're just kind of moving around, cruising around. In the river system, we have an unnamed river right across from the lodge here. It goes up 70 miles. 150 kilometers or whatever it is approximately, and it goes river lake.
Oh, okay.
So it's a huge system that it goes into. That's full of lake trout and grayling. We're going to go fish that later today, probably.
So that's the game plan today.
That's the game plan today, is to go fish in the unnamed river. And then we have another river system that joins actually from Elmer, joins Clinton, Colden in through here.
Okay.
And the grayling fishing is really good in here. Wow. The world record, the 6.1 pound grayling that we caught is where we're going to go fish today. That's where that was caught.
Perfect. Awesome.
Cabela's caught that one.
Nice. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Now you did mention that there's a biologist did a study or something where they had caught or netted or...
That's at our other lake on Lac de Gras Lake.
Lac de Gras.
Yeah, so our
Tell them about that.
So Lac de Gras Lake, so we have the NWT main fisheries biologist actually does study on Lac de Gras Lake because there's 2 diamond mines there, the Diavec and the Caddy Diamond Mine.
Okay.
So the environmental studies that they do on a consistent basis for water testing, for air testing, is world class as far as making sure that everything is safe, that there's nothing contaminated. So they stun fish all the time to test the fish for contaminants. So they stun fish on a set of narrows right beside the lodge, on a set of narrows that comes out of Lac de Savage Lake into Lac de Gras Lake, which is like 400 or 500 meters from our lodge. And the narrows are about half a kilometer, like 600-700 meters long, just a short narrows. But they electrified the new world record grayling at over 9 pounds.
9-pound grayling.
And they electrified the new world record for whitefish as well. I can't remember the weight on that. And they've electrified lake trout over 60 pounds at the same spot right beside the lodge.
So you've got these other lodges. What's the game plan, or what are your goals with these other lodges?
Well, the game plan with the other lodges is they need renovations. So we want to get our renovations done before we bring clients in. So we'll be renovating them the next year here. And then the game plan is we'll run them as fishing camps in the summertime and ecotourism camps. 2 of the camps actually have the Bathurst caribou herd come right through them.
Wow.
So they can be, it'll be just like here, Brody. You'll be able to be in camp, you'll look out a window, and you'll have caribou all around you on a regular basis.
That is too cool.
It's very cool. We have the highest density of barren ground grizzly bears in all of North America, right at Elmer Lake. And it's because we have so many sand eskers here.
Okay.
It's great denning opportunity for the bears. So we see lots of barren ground grizzly bears up here as well. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah. Wow. And so you guys are really only here 3 months of the year.
We're here 3 months of the year in the summertime, and then I'm up here a month and a half in the wintertime.
Okay. Okay.
So I spend 5 months a year in the Northwest Territories.
Yeah. Yeah. Grizzly bear stories. Have you had any grizzly bears come through camp?
Oh yeah, we've had quite a few grizzly bears come through camp, and they've done some damage in the past to the cabins and stuff like that.
Well, because you're in the middle of nowhere, but you know what? I felt when I got dropped off here and that plane flew away, I'd feel a little isolated. But you guys make everyone feel just like at home, and it's been an incredible.
When that plane does a flyby, and you
it is so cool.
And then you watch the plane fly away, and you realize that the nearest store, the nearest vehicle, the nearest anything is a 2-hour float plane ride away to get to us. So you're 4 hours return trip.
That's right. That's right.
For the plane, for the pilot, he's got to fly in 2 hours and fly back out 2 hours.
Yeah, we were just talking. I was talking to Patty, your wife, about the safety protocols that you guys have, and just how high of a priority that is for you guys.
Yeah, we're very safety oriented. I tell all my workers to work slow. I don't want anybody getting cut up here. I don't want anybody getting hurt with a power saw. I don't want anybody rushing in a boat.
Work together on things.
Work together on things. Everybody just take your time, because we are a long ways away. Yeah. So safety is paramount. Bear safety is paramount. I want everybody to come out and take 2 minutes, look around a little bit to make sure that you don't have a bear in camp that we haven't seen, because animals wander in and wander out, as you've seen with the caribou. They just wander in. It's like 1 second there's not one here. The next minute you got 5 right beside the lodge. Yeah. Yeah. So you always have to be bear safety aware. Not to be scared, just be aware. That's
exactly.
All. And same with wolves. We've seen wolves in camp. So in the last week here, we've seen 3 wolverines, 8 wolves, 7 wolves. We've seen 3 wolverines, 7 wolves, probably 500 caribou.
Oh yeah.
600 caribou.
At least.
And we've seen muskox right from camp.
Yeah.
So like we're on the edge of the lake, where the camp is situated, so it's just a natural corridor for them to walk on. Yeah. So we're bound to have them come by on a regular basis.
Exactly.
And that's what they do.
Wolverine too, so you guys can hunt wolverine as well.
We hunt wolverine. We see typically in the summertime. This year we've seen 3, 4, 5. We've seen 6 this summer. Okay. Between me and the other guys, we've seen 6 wolverine. Yeah. And in the wintertime, we usually see between 12 and 16 wolverine. Okay. In the wintertime is what we see.
Cool. What advice can you give to someone who's looking to plan their first guided hunting or fishing trip?
You need to do your research. You need to figure out what you want to hunt, when you want to hunt them, where you want to hunt them, what is your budget for the hunt, and then at that stage you now need to talk to an outfitter and find out what the pricing is and what's involved in your hunt. Because you're going to need travel to and from. You're going to need hotels to and from. You're going to maybe need a charter plane, like a charter plane to come into your hunting camp, a charter plane to get in your camp. I'll speak to muskox hunting. A muskox weighs 3 people flying back out of camp. So you have the hunter going out, plus the hide, plus his head, plus his meat going back to Yellow Nation. So that total weight equals 4 people on a plane for weight-wise.
And so if you have 3 hunters on that plane with all their
That's a full plane.
You're limited out.
You're limited. You're maxed out on the weight of the plane as far as flying with the plane.
Now is that extra for clients to
That's
get their
extra,
plane up here?
That's extra for the hunters, but not
Okay.
for the fishermen, because the fishermen aren't taking anything out. We're catch and release fishery.
Okay, I see.
So it's just for the hunters because they're taking their muskox back with them. Everything has to be flown back out.
Exactly.
So we do have a charter fee for them. Currently this year it's $2,500.
Okay.
Is the charter fee.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair. What are some must-have gear items that you'd recommend for hunters or even fishermen up
rain gear, lightweight rain gear, and it's not because of the rain. It's a rainy day today, obviously, but it's not so much for the rain, Brody. It's to keep the water off you when you're driving in the boats.
You're spending a lot of time in the boats.
You're spending a lot of time in the boats, and so you're going to get, if it's windy a little bit at all, you're going to get splashing up from the water. Our water temp yesterday was 51 degrees Fahrenheit, so we're like plus 10, plus 11 Celsius for temperature-wise. So the water is cold, so you want to make sure that you are dry when we get to where you're at. So you put your rain gear on, bring rubber boots so that you can get off and on the dock and onto shore to go for a shore lunch or have a shore pee if you need to go for a pee or whatever. So rubber boots are a must, and then that way you keep dry feet, because not all spots can we have a sandy beach where you can pull up. Right. Lots of times it's a rocky spot, so you got to get off in the rocks, and you might be getting off in 6-8 inches of water. So if you have gum boots, then up to knee-high boots, muck boots, or something like that, then you have no problem getting off the boat and staying dry.
That's right, and that's the biggest thing up here is just trying to stay dry.
Trying to stay dry, and then it's just in and out of the boat. And then if you're fishing, when you have lightweight rain gear, you can put your rain gear on. You can travel to where we're going to fish. When we get there, it's only 2 minutes to shred your rain gear if you want.
Yeah.
And then taking fish pictures, it's nice to have rain pants on while you're taking pictures so your pants stay dry. Even if it's a beautiful sunny day, it keeps your pants dry. So you keep your rain pants on, and
it kind of blocks you from the wind a little bit too.
It blocks you from that wind a little bit as well. So I always say a lightweight, it doesn't need to be heavy, but a lightweight rain gear is a definite.
So on your webpage, it does break down everything that you need. I just wanted to see if there's anything extra that you suggested, but check that out, guys. Canadian Wildlife Adventures. Any info they need about what to bring, what to even expect.
So what to expect, So if you're interested in booking a trip, just get a hold of us through our website, through our phone numbers on the website. Just go to our website, and then we can answer any questions on your group size of people, or what to expect, or time of year, or when your holidays are available, what's available on our site, that type of thing.
So we're September 2024 right now. Are you booking for next year, obviously?
Yeah, we're booking for next year. We're booking for next year for fishermen, for ecotourism trips. We do canoeing trips. We have a 14 and 17-day canoe trip, so we're booking for those as well. And then we're booking for hunters. Our muskox hunts are sold out for 25 already. We're booked for 25. Yeah. And I think I have one available for 26.
Okay, but guys can follow you on Facebook, and you never know, last minute cancellations always happen and stuff too.
People have health issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So always follow us on social media, our Facebook and our Instagram.
You're very active on social media.
We're very active.
Always posting photos and videos of the muskox, the caribou, the big fish we catch. So, at the very least, follow Canadian Wildlife Adventures on social media because there's some exciting content.
There's some very exciting content on a regular basis.
Yeah, super, super cool. I guess we covered a lot of topics. So I've got today and then tomorrow morning, we mentioned we're going to fish for some grayling here at the early part of today. What's the game plan for the next day and a half?
Fishing.
Yeah.
We'll hit some grayling. We'll do some shore fishing from grayling. So we're going to go up the unnamed river. It's pretty skinny.
Okay.
So we have to put the motor up on shallow drive. We'll get in. We're going to park on our beautiful sandy beach. There's lots of sandy beaches up here.
Yeah.
We're going to park on that sandy beach, and then we're going to walk into a set of riffles, and we're going to fish the riffles from shore. Perfect. We're fishing Freestone River, and I expect to catch a fair amount of grayling, and we'll get some good lake trout as well.
Super exciting, guys. So first couple days we were muskox hunting. Day 3, we had a storm actually blow in, so we just hung out at camp. We ate well. We visited. Day 4, I think it was day 4, we came up on a pack of wolves. And we had 2 wolf tags, and 2 wolves hit the ground. So super, super cool. A beautiful all white Arctic wolf, and then a nice black one with some gray and brown mixed in, both males, which is exactly what you want to take
exactly
out.
what you want to take out, yeah.
Yeah, and we were just talking about how much killing these wolves do. Like all the wolves do, all they eat is meat.
All they eat is meat.
How many caribou are these wolves taking out, say, per wolf or even per
wolf?
year?
According to the caribou biologists in the Northwest Territories and Nunavut, they're eating between 25 and 30 caribou per year.
Per wolf?
They're eating between 25 and 30 caribou per wolf to survive.
Wow.
So if they're healthy wolves,
yeah,
then they're going to be eating between 30 and 35 caribou per year to be a healthy wolf. But survival-wise, they need, at the bottom end, they need like 28 caribou a year. And they're skinny, they're run down, like they're on the skinnier side. So basically, to be a healthy wolf, they need between 30 and 35 caribou per wolf. So if you have a pack of 10 wolves, they need 350 caribou a year.
Exactly.
And so that's their main primary food. They'll eat Arctic hares, they'll eat a few muskox, they'll get muskox and like, and they'll eat dead carrion from something that's died and that type of thing. But their main target is caribou. That's their main food.
And so Northwest Territories, they recognized an issue with these wolves. And they offered a bounty to residents.
Yeah, they have a bounty for the residents, and the bounty changes every year a little bit.
Yeah.
The bounty area, it's a moving area, so it moves a little bit every year. It moves every week, actually, but they post it, so it's well posted on social media so the residents can see.
Wow.
And if you do the full taxidermy prep work for your wolf in the NWT, I think the bounty is $1,900 per wolf.
No way. So that's how much of a problem they see these wolves are.
So if you just shoot a wolf and bring it in whole and don't skin it, I think you get $1,200. If you skin it to be taxidermy prep for you in that sense, then you get $1,900. So the more work you do,
because then they'll sell that wolf.
They sell that. Yeah. So the more work you do as an individual with that wolf, the more money there is in it.
Yeah.
But the minimum is $1,200.
Wow.
And you just turn in a frozen wolf.
Isn't that something, right? Unreal. So we had another couple at camp here who are just fishing. And they caught, what did they catch? I think 3 over 50, 2 over 60 pounds.
The other day, they're not yesterday, the day before, they had 2 over 60, 3 over 50. I think they had 8 over 40 and a whole bunch over 30. It's their best. They've 32 years of fishing the Arctic for lake trout. They're avid lake trout fishermen. They're from Minnesota, and hands down the best fishing they've ever had in their life. The biggest consistent fishing they've ever had in their life.
And that one day they slammed, they weren't even taking pictures of 35 and 40 pound lake trout because they were catching so many 50s and 60s. They were catching
so many 30 pound lake trout that they weren't taking pictures of them.
That's crazy. And I've talked to other guys who fish Northwest Territories, and they book a trip to try and catch 1 40 pounder on their trip.
Yeah.
And we're catching 40 pounders consistently. And these folks, in one day, they caught 50s and 60s. Yeah. So you're catching 50s and 60s. I would probably guarantee you that, I don't know, you know the numbers, but if a fisherman books a trip with you for 5 days, there's a very high chance that he's going to catch multiple 50s and lots of 40s, and then consistent all day long 30 pounders.
Yeah. We get really big fish. And with our fishing, our weights, we actually use the Chapman scale. So we use an official, certified, calibrated scale all the time as well. Yeah. So we know what we have for weights.
Yeah. So we weighed mine yesterday. It was in the net. We
take the net weight off.
And it was 46 pounds. And so that was just my first day of fishing. Yeah. We've been hunting for several days. We did a half day of fishing, caught a whole bunch of lake trout. But this was our first day targeting these big trout, and we caught a ton of them. So super cool. I can't wait to get out there today. We got to move our butts because I want to go catch some grayling.
Yeah, go get some grayling.
That's right. Now, is there anything else you want to share with anyone, or anything that I left out that you want to touch base on?
Nope, just come on up and experience the Arctic. It's absolutely beautiful up here. The barren lands are not barren. They're full of life. The fishing is phenomenal. We would love to have you up here and show you what we have to offer on fishing wise. So come on up and catch some fish like Brody caught.
Guys, it's been a blast. I filmed a couple muskox hunts. We filmed the wolf hunt. And now we're catching some incredible fish and filming another episode for Non-Typical Nation. Thanks so much, Kevin.
You're welcome.
It's been a blast. Let's go catch some grayling. And thank you guys so much for listening and watching today.
Thank you.
Okay, so where are we here on the map, Kevin? Where's the lodge and Elmer Lake? Give us a lowdown on what I'm looking
So
at.
Elmer Lake is where we have our main lodge at, and we have Clinton Colden Lake. So the lodge sits here in Rockness Bay, on the north shore of Rockness Bay. We are 400 air kilometers northeast of Yellowknife, is where we're located at by float planes. We're about a 2-hour float plane ride from Yellowknife to the lodge.
Okay.
Is what we have. So we have Elmer Lake and we have Clinton Colden as our main two lakes. So we have 1,700 kilometers of water, square kilometers of water, and we have 10,000 kilometers of shoreline that we have. We have lots of islands, lots of reefs all the way through it. All these little X's are all reefs all the way through it.
So how does Elmer Lake, this is a huge lake. So, you know, from this end to right about here, what are we looking at for distance-wise?
65 miles.
65 miles.
So 120 kilometers, 115 kilometers.
And this is all part of Elmer Lake?
That's all part of Elmer Lake, yep. So
And
that's
so-
another 60 kilometers going up.
Yeah.
And Elmer Lake goes into here, it goes down into here, goes into here.
So you have all of this shoreline to do your hunting and all of the lake.
On the lake for the fishing.